Dear e-Niro Diaries on a wet Saturday morning, 1st of February, on our way to shovel some tons of drive gravel for some people. There's a whole bunch of us doing that. Anyway, talk and drive then, and talking about the electric car market, where the numbers are starting to come in for 2019 now, and they don't look too impressive actually. There's just over 2 million cars with a plug sold in the world in 2019, which is actually no higher, in fact a few thousand lower than it was in 2018. So where's this electric car revolution coming, you may ask? Well, you need to put it in a bit of context, and first thing is to look at new car sales generally. And and since the recession, new car sales around the world, especially driven by China, have been rising steadily. And in 2017, there were just under 82 million new cars were sold in the world, and people were expecting that just to continue to rise. The global economy is doing very well. There's, Europe's okay. America's been growing strongly. China, of course, it's a lot of people still buying their first cars. But actually, new car sales have fallen. They fell in 2018, and they fell again last year. So new car sales are actually nearly 5 million lower than they were in 2017. Now, the last time new car sales fell was in 2008, when the recession was really on, and obviously companies like General Motors had to be rescued by the US government. So what's going on here? Well, we know that there's a thing called the Osborne effect, named after Adam Osborne, who started a computer company in the 1980s and made the fatal mistake of announcing his new product when his existing product was still there. And of course people just stopped buying because they thought they'd wait another 6 months for the new product to come, and he had no cash flow and the company went out of business. But this has actually happened many times before. In the late 60s, when the first colour televisions were starting to come, colour television sales didn't increase initially very much, but black and white television sales fell. And so it was clear that people who would normally be replacing their TVs were actually waiting to get a colour television. They were delaying their purchase. Same thing happened with the Sony Walkman, which was the dominant force in the personal music market. When the iPod first came out, didn't sell initially that well because it was fiddly. You had to download iTunes and all that kind of stuff. But people stopped buying, or they slowed down the buying of Sony Walkmans, and then of course within a few years it was all over. So there's this kind of S-curve of adoption of new technologies that occurs. And when you look at the 2019 figures for new car sales, one of the things that impacted it was that China changed their rules around what they call new energy vehicles. They stopped subsidizing short-range electric vehicles and were only subsidizing the longer range cars. So sales did fall for a few months, but that's expected to pick up this year. In the United States, half of all electric vehicle sales were Teslas. No one else sold very much at all, and in fact their sales at 320,000 were about 20,000 lower than they were in 2018. So Europe then ended the year fantastically well. The December sales of cars with a plug were 77,000, so that's about 6.5% of the new car market. 1.2 million new cars were sold in Europe in December, and we finished the year in Europe with comfortably over 500,000 EV sales. So, getting close to 5% of the market. But if the run rate for December continues through this year, along with all the new models coming from Peugeot, Citroën, Opel and Volkswagen, we could make the million this year in electric new cars in Europe. So it doesn't look great, 2019, but there are certain things, if you dig below the numbers, that suggest that, things are changing. And I say the most significant thing is that new car sales generally are down, and this does beg the question, have we already got past the peak of internal combustion engine sales? people were saying that in 2017, which I thought was maybe a bit premature, but it seems the figures now, with 2 more years, there's a steady decline in sales of internal combustion engine cars globally. Obviously within some countries they're still rising, but at a global level sales are falling of fossil burning cars. And this is great, because we all want to see eventually the EV taking over, reducing the fossil fuel use, within 2 or 3 years I would think we'll see 1% of all cars on the market will be an electric car, probably towards the end of next year. So anyway, that's just my views on the market. That's some of the numbers. And if we look down the road here, it's raining. It's a nice straight French road. I'm going to turn off in a minute, I think, when it might be a good time to stop the camera. Yeah, we love this lack of traffic here. It's certainly enjoyable. So the e-Niro is just coming up to 19,000 kilometers. We'll just do that in about the next 5 minutes. Yeah, still very happy with the car. Bye.